What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here. Going to let y'all in on a little bit of a secret today. A team that I've kept hidden for a couple seasons. In fact, this is the team that I hit Legend with last season, and I never put a video out on it. I ran it again at the midpoint of this season. It took me back up to Legend Elo from like 2800, and then I ran it for 2 sets since this rotation came back, and both those sets were a 4-1. So I can confidently say this team works every single time that I run it. What is the team? Well, it's going to be Malamar on the lead, Toxapex as my closer, and Qwilfish as the safe swap. Malamar, Qwilfish, both have kind of fallen off in usage. Qwilfish never really got that popular because it's kind of glassy, but man, this thing's an absolute monster on the safe swap. I mean, it has Ice Beam to nuke any kind of flyers, things like Drifloon that like to try to answer for it. It has an Aqua Tail that fights back against the ground types. It pulls shields from Marowak. I mean, it gets those Aqua Tails just like Drapion does every 4, except for this time, the Aqua Tails are going to be stabbed, so they're going to hit just a little bit harder. And also, like, Ice Beam basically one-shots a Marowak, so keep that in mind. You're not going to see Marowaks in this video just because I am only pulling from the 2 sets that I played since this rotation came out. But if you want to win switch, you can Ice Beam Marowak. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that since I didn't get to actually put any in the video, but let's go ahead and get into some of these battles. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it. All right, into the first one, up against a Dunsparce lead. This is a good lead, not a great lead, because of course we have superpower, but it doesn't one-shot Dunsparce. And Run does 2-shot Malamar, especially after the debuff from the superpower. So I always do go superpower. They never shield the first one anyways, so I might as well get the bulk of the damage, and then I can invest shields as I want. I can either swap out into Qwilfish and invest the shield there. I'm going to be able to farm down with something, right? I decided to go ahead and stay in just to see if they want to swap first. They don't swap, so now I'm going to shield this up, and then I'm going to swap, and they actually swap at the same time into Malamar, which is not a good matchup for Qwilfish. Toxapex does just fine, right? Qwilfish, a little bit more on the glassy side. We end up CMP tying them there, and this will be the foul play. Foul play is going to nearly take out, and they're going to easily Psywave down. Like I said, Toxapex doesn't mind the Psywaves near as much. There are certain high attack Malamars out there that do 1 more damage per Psywave. So just in case this is one of those, I am going to go ahead and come with Malamar. I have energy, they don't have energy. Let's go ahead and throw this foul play. I waited my clock, so after the foul play, I could look for the poison jab down, but they actually end up shielding it up, and I'm going to go ahead and go for a catch. We actually end up catching the superpower, which is super good for us. They swap into their Dunsparce just to clear that debuff, and now we're going to have to see if they come back in with their Malamar, or do we see their third. We're actually going to see their third, which is going to be a Talonflame, so we're going to make sure we're throwing at good timing. It's going to be 7 poison jabs to their 3 incinerates. We're going to get this Brine off. Now, Brine doesn't one-shot. In fact, Talonflame has a pretty good matchup here in the zeros, but we're outside of Brave Bird range right now, and so I know I can go ahead and let this first move come through. I'm going to invest a shield no matter what, whether I invest it on my Toxapex or on my Malamar. So I decided to go ahead and bring in Malamar to look for that nice juicy farm down to ensure I am ahead on energy against their own Malamar. Foul play, of course, pulls the shield, and there's no way for them to get to 2 attacks here. They can throw 1 into my Malamar. Even if like they CMP'd me, they wouldn't be at 2 attacks, and I have the Sludge Wave ready to go. So Sludge Wave going to be coming through, ensuring I get the KO against their Malamar, and we just poison jab down the Talonflame. So that's going to be a GG's well played to my opponent. Let's go into the next one. Malamar up against a Chargebug. Now this is not a Pokemon that I expect to see with this team. It wasn't popular last season, but it's gained a little bit of traction this season. In fact, this was my second Chargebug that I saw in 6 sets. It's not even 6 sets. I played 2 of the sets in Ultra League, so 4 sets. Second Chargebug I saw in 4 sets, so perhaps it is on the rise. We are going to go ahead and shield up that first X-Scissor. I expect them to throw back to back, so I'm going to go ahead and catch here on the Qwilfish where it will be resisted, and we should be able to get the Poison Sting down, but not without taking some nice Volt Switch damage. They're going to come out now with a Corviknight. So very interesting. Corviknight usage is definitely on the climb. A lot of people talked a lot of trash about it. I enjoyed it. I put a video out on it after the hype had kind of gone away. Sorry, I've been holding my my 1-year-old. He was about ready for a nap, and he was on my shoulder. I just realized my shoulder's a little bit wet there. I apologize for that. Anyways, Corviknight going to be able to throw an Iron Head here. They swap out into a Azumarill, and at that point, the game is over. Technically, I should stay in Malamar and bank a little energy, but I didn't really want to misalign switch clocks, and I figured as soon as I showed them the Toxapex that, yeah, they would just leave. So that's GG's. All right, into the next one. Up against an Azumarill lead. Now, I do always stay in, let them do their 6 bubbles. We can go for a catch. Every once in a while, they actually throw their energy immediately. Most of the time, it's an Ice Beam if they do that, but regardless, like, I like having energy on Malamar. The Psywaves do decent damage to the Azumarill, and they're going to have at least one of these poison answers in the back. So this time it's going to be a Morpeko. Now, interesting thing about Morpeko, because Qwilfish is just so fast, if they don't throw their Psychic Fangs immediately, you can win the 2 shields. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to shield up the Psychic Fangs here. Interesting that they went for the Aura Will the first time. I guess they didn't expect me to shield and they wanted to boost their own attack. But now I'm going to make this Aqua Tail, which is not quite enough to take out the Morpeko, but one more Poison Sting will do the job. And then come back in with the Azumarill, but instead they actually come in with their Drapion. And if you're only getting to one move, you want to go for the Ice Beam. It hits quite a bit harder. Aqua Tail more energy efficient, but I mean, you see the damage right there. I'm going to come back in with my Malamar, just throw this Foul Play immediately. If they wanted to come in with their Azumarill and CMP me there, Playware wasn't going to KO anyways, and then I was just going to come in with this Toxapex and just hard farm this Azumarill. So the game was over, whether they wanted to get sneaky with it or not. So that's GG's, well played. Alright, into the next one, Goodra lead. This is a tough one, actually. I mean, I think Malamar is going to be able to win. I imagine we win the 2s because we do outpace. We make it to the first charge move at the same time. This is the Aqua Tail. But after that, we get to the Foul Play one turn quicker. I try to catch an Aqua Tail. We don't get the catch, but that's perfectly fine. We do lure out another Corviknight. And we're going to just spam off these Aqua Tails to get some nice chip damage. Of course, Poison Sting's not doing a lot, but we can get them into the yellow and actually into the red after the Poison Stings. Force them to throw before that next Aqua Tail because it would be lethal. And I decided to actually invest a shield here because I kind of just want to get this thing shields off. And they actually decide to let it go. Going to be a Dunsparce in the back, which is awkward. I'm going to go ahead and bank some energy, come in with Malamar. I should be able to survive this draw run. They'll probably be able to Dragon Breath down, but actually they're staying in and going to allow me to get off a move. Now I could go Superpower, but then they might roll out me down. So I'm going to go Foul Play, force the swap here. And now I can come in with Toxapex and just get a little bit of an energy head start. If they throw Aqua Tail because they knew my Qwilfish was so low, that would be the dream. I'm going to no shield. It's a Thunder Punch. That's fine. The thing is, it's a lot of super effective moves here, but none of them actually do any real damage. So I was in a great spot there, especially with the residual energy on the Qwilfish. My opponent knows it and leaves the matchup. All right, Gastrodon lead. So this is where we want to see Gastrodon. Unfortunately, we don't really have hard punish for the ground types. I know some people won't like the team because of that, but we have flexible play, right? If it's not a ground and water, then you can Aqua Tail with Qwilfish and do a lot of damage, and then Psywave down with Malamar. And if it's this one, then, well, you hope you see it on the Malamar and you play out the 2s. Unfortunately, we got baited. If we didn't get baited the first time, we could definitely tank the Body Slam here, but we will have to invest both shields. Out comes a Shadow Staravia. And I was so confused. I saw the typing and I thought, oh, it's a Corviknight. Oh wait, no, that's a normal typing, not a steel typing. Interesting. I don't actually know what this thing has. I think it has Brave Bird. I think it's Aerial Ace Brave Bird. And I actually ended up throwing before, like watching back. It's running Quick Attack. I definitely threw before they were even at their second Aerial Ace, so I could have overfarmed a bit more. But in the back, it's going to be Corviknight. Not Corviknight. Corsola, the other COR new Pokemon. Which is a problem, right? It's one of the 2 reasons that I did not run this team at the beginning of the season. Because I was thinking Corviknight's going to be tough for this team. Yes, we have Malamar. Malamar, I believe Malamar wins the 0s and the 2s. It does not win the 1s. But then it's resisting all the poison moves from Quillfish and Toxapex. At this point, I have to make a catch, right? I'm expecting them to do one more Astonish and then throw it. They don't. They just throw immediately. The other core breaker was Morpeko, which we've already seen. It's very playable for this team. Very playable. So I think I was a little bit too worried on that one. Like, the Morpeko leads are tough, but still playable. You just play the 0s with Malamar, and then you come in with Quillfish, and you invest the shields there. So, I wish, I don't know, because I still have my Legend run with this team, and it would show a lot more matchups. I never put it out. If y'all want to see the Legend run still, even though like I already have the team here, y'all have already seen the team, let me know in the comments down below. If enough people are wanting to see it, maybe I'll put that out as well. But otherwise, I'll just stick with the one version. All right, so here we have a Clodsire answering for a Quillfish, and this is where Quillfish is a monster. Now, you do need to land the Ice Beam, or you want to land the Ice Beam in the 2s. It's just a way cleaner matchup if you land the Ice Beam, because then you can actually Poison Sting down and leave with a bunch of energy. I knew I was going to be able to pull Shield back here when this Serperior came in. I went for the Aqua Tail because I didn't want them to be able to overfarm too much. What was the lead? Why am I coming back in here? I don't remember. Doesn't really matter because this is clearly the right play. Otherwise I wouldn't be oh, it was the Feraligatr, right? Feraligatr, Toxapex is going to have a great time just soaking up all that energy. They throw the Aerial Ace before they're even at the Frenzy Plant. This is the most obvious combo I've ever seen. So we're going to go ahead and just pull off that catch. If this Gator has Crunch, then maybe they still have some play. Is it Crunch? No, got to be the Hydro. So this game should be pretty set in stone, but they actually have another Hydro ready to go. I had a lot of energy on this thing. So we're going to eat that Hydro. I'm just going to throw this Sludge Wave immediately because I still have energy on Malamar, and these poison jabs are not going to do nothing. They do still have a catch available I need to be aware of, and there it is. Yeah, it's done. I think they expected me to just go in Malamar and try to get some energy off or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Shadow Dragonite lead. I think this one's IV dependent because I've won just Psy-waving down Dragonites before, but most of the time Dragonites Psy-waves do more. You will win the 1s because you get to that second foul play one turn before their second Dragon Claw. But I think the better play is to go ahead and just pull the shield and then come in with Quillfish because at this point they're in Aqua Tail range. We can just throw this Aqua Tail before their next Dragon Claw, force them to shield, and then if they want to shield, we just match shields. So our second shield is coming up. Shields are completely gone now, but that's fine. I have a bulky Toxapex in the back, except it really doesn't want to see a Sandslash. Yeah, this is not great. We're going to go ahead and get this first Aqua Tail off. They actually don't CMP me, which allows me to get this second Aqua Tail off, which is huge. Now, I know they're going to throw the Juron sometime before I'm at the next Aqua Tail. I'm expecting it after 2, because I figured after 3 it'd be obvious, and then there'd be an easy catch for me. And we get the call right. Psy-wave's doing a ton of damage to this Sandslash. And at this point, I can just Poison Jab down or Poison Sting down. I know they still have that Dragonite ready, so I don't want my energy for my Quillfish to be sniped. So instead, I come in with my Toxapex. We jab that down. They're going to come out with their third, which is Dunsparce. And now you get to actually see how not as great of a matchup as you think this is for the Dunsparce. Because look, the Sludge Wave does half of their HP. Even though I'm chipped from Dragon Breaths, like that barely does half of my remaining HP. So now I'm going to come back. Oh, shaking the whole table. Come back in, Quillfish, throw the Aqua Tail, and they're forced to throw energy, or they can try to get a snipe here with the Sandslash, but we just Poison Sting down. It's too low. So now we have the next Aqua Tail ready to go, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played. Let's go. All right, into the next battle. Superior lead. I like to swap immediately. You could like stay in for a bit, But like, this is very much an ABB team. If they have a ground type in the back, you need to lure it out. And the chances of them having some kind of ground pressure when they're weak to fire in the lead, fairly high. So you want to swap out of them. Now, here's another matchup where Qwilfish is just unexpectedly good. In the twos. Only in the twos. So we're going to go ahead and shield this up. I should have honestly Ice Beamed, though. Yeah, because I think they can win the twos since I went straight Aqua Tail. You have to land an Ice Beam. You have to land an Ice Beam, and then you can start winning the twos. But they decided to go ahead and just let their Dunsparce go. That's perfectly fine. They have a ton of energy on this Qwilfish. They didn't leave with much energy on their Serperior. So again, we're going to bait because I don't want them to be able to overfarm. Aqua Tail comes through, and we are almost at the Ice Beam, but they are going to be offloading some energy. Air should be enough to take out from this range. I can still align my Toxapex here on this Serperior. Now, I have seen it before. Serperior in the lead, Azumarill on the back. I don't think it's a good team, but it is a team, and I'm going to be aware of it. So I am going to pause here. Make sure they're not catching on like a ground type. Throw this Sludge Wave. Take out the Serperior. Wait. Okay. I took out, so I'm going to actually stay in. You can see I was ready to swap there. But it's going to be a Feraligatr. This is not a Crunch. This is only going to be a Hydro. And now I'm going to go ahead and just throw the Bright. I'm not at the Sludge Wave, but I don't care. If they let this through, I win. They let that damage through, I just win. Because guess what? Malamar, not like super bulky, but definitely bulky enough to take one Hydro and not get farmed down. These Psywaves absolutely shredding through this Feraligatr. They do make one more move, but my Toxapex has plenty of HP. All we need is one Poison Jab and to survive one Shadow Claw, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. So yeah, a little bit of a sneaky play there, but like, if they showed it, then I just foul play them. There was no winning at that point for them. Toxapex is honestly, like, neutrally, it's strong. It's an RPS Pokemon, but then it has good neutral matchups. So less RPS? I don't know. I don't love it as a Pokemon, but I love it on this team. So is what it is. Yeah, this team works really well for me. I guess like one more core breaker that I didn't mention would be Sableye, but who's seen one of those recently? Not me at least. Yeah, Sableye would be a disaster since it would double resist the Psy Waves and only take neutral from the foul plays and resist all the poison moves, but it basically doesn't exist, so I wouldn't sweat it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. This is the third video I've recorded today, plus I streamed, so I've talked a lot. My voice needs a little bit of a break. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed all the content I've been putting out recently, make sure you leave a like, help the channel grow. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you to my channel members for your support. Until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.